In a bustling Nigerian town, where dusty roads led to colorful marketplaces and churches stood tall as the heart of the community, lived a couple whose lives reflected a puzzling imbalance. Amaka, a devout and spirited woman, was celebrated in her church as a model of humility and dedication. Her husband, Chik, was a hardworking man with simple needs: a warm meal, a kind word, and respect. Amaka's world revolved around the church and her revered pastor, Pastor Emmanuel. Her devotion was unwavering. She would bow low in his presence, eager to serve him in any way possible. But at home, her attitude shifted. For her husband, there were no bows, no reverence, and no eagerness to please. Chik endured this imbalance for years, silently watching his wife shower respect and love on the pastor while offering him only indifference. But one fateful Sunday, a series of events forced the couple to confront the truth about their marriage. This is their story, a journey of confrontation, reflection, and the rediscovery of priorities. The roosters had barely crowed when Amaka jumped out of bed with urgency. The aroma of freshly fried plantains and sizzling stew soon filled their modest home as she prepared a feast for Pastor Emmanuel's special church event. Her golden wrapper tied securely around her waist, she moved with a purpose that was hard to miss. "Amaka, where's my white shirt?" Chik called out from the bedroom. "It's in the wardrobe," she replied, her tone sharp as she continued chopping vegetables. Chik checked the wardrobe and found nothing. "Amaka, I can't find it," he said again, his voice tinged with frustration. This man will not let me rest," she exclaimed, storming into the room. She yanked the shirt from a pile and threw it at him. "Next time, use your eyes, Chik." Chik sighed but said nothing. As he dressed for church, he noticed her flawless attire, her radiant jewel, her perfectly ironed gown, and her matching shoes. She looked stunning, like a queen. He glanced at his wrinkled shirt and scuffed shoes and shook his head. By the time they left for church, Amaka was carrying a tray of food she had prepared for the pastor, while Chik walked behind her, empty-handed and invisible. The church service was vibrant, with the choir singing in harmonies that lifted the congregation's spirits. Amaka led the songs with fervor, her voice clear and powerful. After the sermon, Pastor Emmanuel took his seat at the front of the church, surrounded by church members eager to serve him. Amaka knelt before the pastor with a proud smile, holding a bottle of water and a towel. When Pastor Emmanuel casually stretched his legs, revealing his slightly dusty shoes, Amaka immediately acted. Without hesitation, she took the hem of her pristine white dress and began wiping the shoes, her head bowed low in reverence. "Thank you, Sister Amaka," Pastor Emmanuel said warmly. Pastor, it's nothing. It's an honor," she replied, beaming. From the back of the church, Chik watched the scene unfold. His face was unreadable, but inside his heart was heavy. He thought of how, just that morning, Amaka had scolded him for asking for help with his shirt. The contrast was unbearable. One sunny afternoon, Amaka received a call that sent her into a whirlwind of activity. Pastor Emmanuel was coming to their home for a visit. "Pastor is coming," she exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement. She immediately began cleaning the house as though royalty were arriving. She scrubbed the floors until they shone, replaced the old curtains with new ones, and polished the dining table that had been ignored for months. "Chik, go and buy fresh flowers," she ordered. "Flowers? Amaka, we don't even have flowers for ourselves," Chik said, bewildered. "Don't argue with me. Pastor Emmanuel deserves the best," she snapped. When the pastor arrived, Amaka greeted him with a deep bow and ushered him inside. The living room, which was usually cluttered, looked like a picture from a home decor magazine. Amaka served him chilled drinks, freshly squeezed juice, and a feast fit for a king. She hovered around him, ensuring he had everything he needed. "Your home is beautiful, Sister Amaka," Pastor Emmanuel said, smiling. "Thank you, Pastor. It's all by God's grace," she replied, practically glowing. Chik sat in a corner observing the scene. The house had never been this clean, and he had never been served with such care. He felt like a stranger in his own home. That night, after the pastor left, Chik couldn't hold back any longer. "Amaka, sit down," he said firmly, his tone unlike anything she'd heard before. "What is it now?" she asked, irritated. "Amaka," he began, his voice trembling with emotion. "Why do you treat Pastor Emmanuel like he's a king but treat me like I'm nothing? You clean the house for him, but you leave it dirty for us. You bow to him, wipe his shoes with your dress, but at home, you can't even speak to me kindly." Amaka stared at him, speechless. "Amaka," he continued, "I'm your husband. The Bible says I am the head of this home. but you've made me feel like I don't matter. Why? Tears welled up in Amaka's eyes as Chike's words pierced her heart. She hadn't realized how deeply her actions were hurting him. The next Sunday, Chike approached Pastor Emmanuel after the service. In a calm but serious tone, he explained the situation. Pastor Emmanuel listened carefully, nodding occasionally. "Brother Chike, I hear you," the pastor said finally. "And you're right to feel this way. Sister Amaka's devotion to the church is admirable, but her first ministry is her home. The Bible teaches us to honor our spouses as we honor God. I will speak to her." That same day, Pastor Emmanuel called Amaka aside. "Sister Amaka," he began gently, "your dedication to the church is commendable, but your husband is your partner in life. If you honor me but neglect him, you're not fulfilling God's purpose for marriage. Your first responsibility is to make your home a place of love and respect." Amaka nodded, tears streaming down her face. She realized how far she had strayed from her true priorities. From that day, Amaka made a conscious effort to change. She began treating Chike with the same love and respect she showed Pastor Emmanuel. She cleaned the house regularly, cooked his favorite meals, and spoke to him with kindness. At church, she continued serving with joy, but her heart was now in the right place. Pastor Emmanuel noticed the change and often smiled, knowing he had played a part in restoring their marriage. Chike, for the first time in years, felt valued and loved. Their home became a place of warmth and partnership, a reflection of the vows they had once exchanged. This story serves as a powerful reminder that while it's important to honor spiritual leaders, our families deserve our love and respect first. Amaka's journey shows that true faith begins at home, where love is the greatest testimony. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and tell us in the comments how do you balance your relationships. See you in the next video.